I want to be very, very correct and very direct and practical and substantive. So you will receive from us information about what is our action plan. As to certificates, yes, we will not provide access to anything except if it is a recognized program. So there is no way that a program of anybody can be offered. We will be offering only accredited programs, whether it is in language or in content, other content, as Her Excellency emphasized, including linking to universities in order to take either some courses or some private academic programs or some kind of education.
Bonsoir, Madame et Monsieur. Je m'appelle Fadi Daoud, and that's my only French so far.
That's a lot.
I just want to say congratulations for the very great cooperation and understanding that we're celebrating today. It's a comment more than a question, actually. I have been taught French in elementary school by attending private schools, and that's a norm in many of the private schools in Jordan, whether to teach French in elementary school, some they teach it till the high school, they even get a brevet or kind of certification by completing English language. But the moment we are out of school, I mean, it dies immediately due to not practicing it, which is something I feel so sorry for. So I totally believe that any foreign language is not a luxury, and it's not like an extra to our lives. It's more of exposure to other cultures. The language is the first impact and the first picture of any other culture for any other nation. And I can guarantee anyone who would be lucky to visit Paris, I mean, not to be stunned by its beauty, and it's more of a music, actually, to the ear of a human, the French language and the culture itself. So, just because I know how French language is beautiful and essential, and it's not a luxury, and now I can see a trend more in schools, more of other languages, foreign languages that are maybe competing to the French language that was whether English or French or just English, but now it's German, Chinese, and certain private schools. Can we see this beautiful understanding and cooperation somehow spread more across the board, with more of cooperation with the Ministry of Education and the government of Jordan? Because I totally believe that we are now in an era that we all support change agents and to change the culture. Changing the culture would start by presenting and exposing our people, our younger generation, to other languages. So I feel sorry for students and younger generation in public schools who maybe English language for them is maybe a luxury and is not an essential thing. So how about really seeing some public schools getting the privilege on whatever levels or coordination level to be exposed to such kind of beautiful agreement to see how beautiful French language is or other languages are, besides, of course, this coordination that goes for different NGOs and institutions. Maybe that is something that I would feel it can be really implemented and would be a really beautiful initiative by your side. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you very much for this very important question, sir. So I understand you're Jordanian.
Yes.
Are you a civil servant from the Ministry of Education, or?
My work, I'm the Deputy Chief of Party of the USAID-funded Fiscal Reform Project, but I'm also a member of the Economic Policies Development Forum under TAGKS.
I understand.
Knowledge Forum, yeah.
Thank you very much, so again, for this question, and the answer as well is yes, it is no problem. To tell the truth, I developed actually this idea, and I came to see Talal for this, joint idea, but I had a reason for it. I'm going to tell you, and it answers your question. More than 1 year ago, I think it was exactly September 2013, we were receiving a minister from France and a minister of education precisely for the opening of our French school, which is on the road to the airport, where the new French school, which is a big building, nice building, we educating 30% on your French children and 70% mixed Jordanian children and children from Francophone countries, like Maghreb countries or Spanish children or who want to be educated in French. So I all encourage you to go to our French school as well, at least to ask for an appointment and see, because it's beautiful premises and a quality teaching. But we were visiting this, the Minister Tneibat, precisely, Minister of Education, was that lady who was our minister for this. And the minister himself asked us to do what we could for Syrian children who had arrived in the country. We were in September 2013, we already had nearly 1 million refugees, and he said, I don't know what to do. We have thousands of Syrian children who speak French, and we can't cope with it. We cannot do it, so can you help us? So we started with, helping the Ministry of Education by, with the agreement actually of the minister and of a lady that we know very well, with the inspector for French language in the ministry. So Ibtisam Ayoub is her name, is a very good friend of us. She knows that we are developing this program, and she is accompanying us on every step we do on promoting French language in the schools of the country and in the universities. So we decided with her that we would retrain Jordanian teachers of French, because you do have a good number of Jordanian teachers, but who are unemployed actually. So they did not have enough job, because apparently the demand was not as high up to a few years ago. They were at home. So we said, okay, we are going to ask money from Paris. So we received the budget for that. I allocated the budget to the French Institute, and the Institute, which has specialists, only teachers who are specialists, of course, professors of French language for foreigners, started classes to retrain these teachers. So you have 12, how many are they? 11, 12? 6. So half of them, sorry. So 6 teachers who were retrained. We upgraded their level so that they could go in different public schools, so of the ministry, handled by the Ministry of Education, and in the camps. They asked us to provide, to send them as well in Zaatari camp. So we started like this, actually. And then I, little by little understood that we were not coping with the demand. That the demand was not only, obviously, Syrian children, but even Jordanian children. And that's why, we went up thinking about it, working on that issue, and then I visited a lot of Jordanian schools, public and private, and universities, mostly all of them now, Aqaba, Mu'ta, El Beit, Irbil, Yarmouk, Just, yes, a lot of universities, and each time I'm found with people who say, what can you do with French, or for French language? So we reported it to the Ministry of Education, and we said we can't send teachers. Either you send us teachers as we did for this program, and we retrain them and we send them, but they don't have even enough. So there are 2 parts in the teaching of the language. We do, you have, in your universities, French, departments of French language or departments of foreign languages where French is taught, and where some, students are being taught in French to be professors, to be teachers. But part of these children or students are not going to be professors. They want to do something else in their life, and I want to keep the door open for them for sending contents which are very different, which are, again, engineering in French, accountancy in French, tourism vocabulary, all these things. So we had to develop another tool, which was the learning, again, for any student or children who would like to develop the language. But you must know that this is done, yes, in full knowledge of the Ministry of Education, and it will help as well the Ministry to cope with that demand that we cannot help more than that. I must say we cannot just pay professors, teachers. The ministry cannot either.